Ramakano abano, Ramakaya abano, boa boa shamabe, medicine natabo, iki ikaine. Good morning from Peru. It's a beautiful day. I've come on a walk to the canyon valley, which I know where I feel super free to share, just to be out in nature. It's really beautiful. Today I feel to share about people pleasing and boundaries. And the true mechanism behind that. Because if you're waking up, finally decided, yeah, I'm going to live my life, without needing the approval of others, then pretty quickly you're going to come across the need to set boundaries. You don't need to chase them, you don't need to make it a task, it will come to you. And believe me, I know that it's tough to start with. And I've set some pretty big boundaries in my life over the last year or so, since I woke up with the realization that it's all me, it's all a negotiation with myself, and it's what's worked for years, but now it has to be dropped. It becomes possible to properly set boundaries, even though it's not easy. After a self-realization, simply because of the basic fact that you have a knowing that you're safe in yourself. I am, I exist. And this is a slightly tricky thing. In fact, it's an impossible thing for you to get your head around because it's a knowing. So, like so many people for decades, I made the assumption that, yeah, of course I know I exist. But when you look closely, you may find that you don't feel like you really exist, that you're a victim of all the circumstances around you. And similar to that, the belief that you don't have the right to exist. This is the game changer for me. to realize that I exist and I can, that this world is of my choosing. And at the beginning, you might not like, might be a bit of a bitter pill to swallow, the world that you've created by your own unconscious agreement and consent. And that now you're going to have to sort all that out. Well, you don't have to sort it all out. It's once you see, it's done. You're just now in the process of, after the self-realization, the process of self-actualization. And props here to my mentor, who spoke about this in a video the other day, but it's very on point. Self-realization doesn't take away your apparent challenges. Instead, it obliges you, without your force or will imposed upon it, to now more and more live that truth. So that's the process part. It's very hard for that to really be efficient, effective, without first realizing your own agency. And that agency paradoxically comes from recognizing that what you take to be yourself, what I took to be Solomon, is an identity, and as such it's optional. And when you've tasted just a little bit of the freedom and bliss, then I say obliged, but you have to start moving towards more and more of that in your life. Living your truth. Daring to dream without guilt or fear. And yeah, dealing with it as it comes. And so one of those things is to set boundaries where necessary. To let go of the idea also that to be courageous, to be a man or a woman or an adult, you have to tell people what you think. And that's where it can get a little bit tricky. So if you're letting go of your people pleasing, which is the rescuer paradigm, which is inextricably linked with the victim and perpetrator paradigm, then to the extent you still take that to be who you are, then it's going to be, you're going to be someone who's setting boundaries rather than just setting boundaries. And yeah, if you're hearing this and if you are setting boundaries and having the courage to let go of those relationships, dynamics that don't serve you, then I hear you. You're not setting boundaries to prove that you're courageous or to protect yourself. from the manipulation of others. Actually, what you're seeing is the manipulation of your own mind and this identity that's taken hold as a necessary protection mechanism from your childhood. But it doesn't serve to keep you safe anymore. So yeah, as I said before, if you have a realization, you just have even the faintest 1%, doesn't matter. It's not a competition for who's most enlightened. That's exactly what it's not. It's a gratitude that finally you see and have agency and power to free yourself from things which don't bring you happiness and keep you stuck. And the two things I learned, or through my own mentorship last year, which are the tricky spells of mind that may make setting boundaries seem impossible, get you stuck in I can't, are fear and projected guilt. Because while you continue to see that people are doing things to you unconsciously, you continue to buy into the victim, perpetrator, rescuer paradigm, and that's not what I'm talking about. So when you can open your heart and stay open, take back the projection of fear that I can't say this to this person because there'll be terrible consequences. That's a belief, and you get what you believe. You're making assumptions about it, and you believe that's something they could do, or the way they react can somehow trap you more. No, it's not about insisting they are different, trying to change them, or falling for their unconsciousness. It's got nothing to do with them. It's all about you withdrawing your consent from this very limited, detrimental spell of mind that unfortunately most people are in, vast majority of people, but you don't have to be. This is the beginnings of liberation. And the other one is guilt, which is kind of a close cousin of fear. And it goes back to something like, if I don't play the game with mummy and daddy, I won't be safe, I'll be abandoned. Again, perfectly understandable, but what you're here now as an adult to do is to show your inner child that he or she is safe, so that he and she can let down their vigilance and start to live. It's the most subtle shift, but it's so subtle that it's really nothing at all. It's just a clear seeing. But yeah, it can be difficult to set boundaries to start with. That's why it requires a lot of patience with yourself. You're allowed to get it wrong. If there's just one iota of willingness to free yourself, that's enough. You can do it with fear and guilt. You can hold the potential chaos of repercussions for that. But if you know what I'm talking about, if you can realize this in yourself and recognize that you're actualizing it in yourself as truth, not playing the game anymore. Wow, that's a climb. Not as two fingers to the system or some believed outward conspiracy or matrix. It's in you. And when you can see it, you can stop consenting to it. So feel free to get it wrong. You will get the echoes back of that, but you'll learn from it. And it does get easier. It doesn't have to be done all in one go. You're in a process. I set boundaries with my family. It doesn't get more challenging than that. Totally taboo, right? To the collective unconscious rules. But yeah. And you could say that that boundary setting began 30 years ago. It was only in the last year when actually the last 3 years. But to feel the fear or just the stagnancy of it all, say no. I'm not going to pretend that I'm not going to play the role of savior anymore. Anyway, that's a big theme. Everybody's own personal challenges is their own, right? And then more recently, cutting ties, at least temporarily, until I stabilize in this knowing more and more. There may come a moment when I reconnect with the medicine master who taught me how to heal using ayahuasca in the jungle for 7 years. Again, an extremely important piece in the apparent history of Solomon. But I'm not in the healing paradigm anymore. So yeah, that had to go as well. So anyway, yeah, I think I'll leave it more or less there. So if you're, it's funny, when you start setting boundaries, the mind starts complaining. It's like, oh, it shouldn't be this difficult. It's the mind that's making it difficult. It's not you. So it can be a bit of turbulence to unsubscribe, withdraw your consent from the habits of mind a lot of stagnancy or hopelessness and withdrawal, loss of hope in life, although hope's a beggar as well, that's another subject, is it's not necessarily that you fear letting go of these things, but it's just become such habit. If you've never looked at them at all, looked at your beliefs at all, then maybe, yeah, it can be a bit more of a shock to the system. But if, like me, you spent 30 years in a spiritual search, kind of chipping away around the edges, then to kind of confront it directly may have a different quality of resistance. So anyway, if you're busy or find yourself called by your intuition to set boundaries and free yourself from this straitjacket that you've been struggling to negotiate with all your life, then I hear you, I know. I also know that it gets easier and freer and more beautiful. Starting with I am. So much to enjoy in life. I mean, well, look at this beautiful scenery. You don't need beautiful scenery. It helps. But it's all happening in you. It's your sovereignty. It's you reclaiming your power for real. Not just repeating the affirmations you heard in a meditation or yoga retreat. You be you. You're safe. You're fine. And if any of this resonates with you, then I can help you to stretch your nervous system, stabilize in a greater nervous system, more capacity, so that you can start to live life and give up this endless chasing of being a better person, which is just an identity. You're fine. You're spotless. And all it takes is to recognize that. And yeah, walk in life, take your space, deal with it as it comes, because you believe, you know, you have the identity of I can handle this, because I'm sovereign. I set my own terms. Yeah, so I offer mirror sessions and conscious mentorships for those who truly feel this is, what I say is a yes to them. It's exciting. Or even a maybe. Yeah, I can be the safe space in which you can start to let go of these your limiting beliefs and be more of who you are, without guilt, without fear. Awesome. So check out my website. I'm currently offering a half-hour contact call, so you also get to check out whether you feel in resonance with me directly to work together, and if you do, you'll certainly get something out of it. And yeah, I'd be happy to work with anybody who's ready for this, excited about this. This is your life we're talking about. You can quit stalling. Start now. Okay, Have a great day. Until next time. Bye.